Good evening, folks. We're in slow motion. So just so you guys know, we're doing some experimenting with our Wi-Fi this evening. So bear with us. I see you on there, Tammy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do our good happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a great day. We're gonna go ahead and get right on into it, and hopefully we'll get ourselves moving here at a normal speed. I feel like I'm in turtle mode right now. So basically, we hope you guys have had an awesome Wednesday because I've had an awesome Wednesday. And we're going to go ahead and get down to our sponsors and let you guys know who our sponsors are. First, I'd like to introduce you all to my production manager, Kristen Brown. And she will be responding to any questions and comments you have. And there we go. And also, we have all of our sponsors. It's okay. We're just going to keep on rolling. We got Krakatoa Coffee Company, Vurchoo Apparel, Big Ted's House of Drums, Bye Bye Belly, Paw Alkaline Water, Upstate Graphics, and Imaging. And of course, we have Custom Creations by Lesley. There I go. I'm in real time now, y'all. Real time. I know, right? We was froze up there for a minute. And literally frozen. So, folks, I'm going to read a little bit of information about my special guest today, Miss Tammy Ferguson. Super excited to have her on the show. And talking about her businesses. Tammy's got a lot of awesome things going on, and it's super encouraging to me and others that are around her because she's a hard worker and she's out here doing a thing. So today we're featuring her business called Ultimate Luxury. Ultimate Luxury was birthed out of Attitude Cosmetics, owned by Tammy, which caused them to be on the road traveling in the car. And her husband Charles decided to get her a Sprinter so that they all could travel comfortably along with the entire makeup display. And after only one use of the Sprinter, they received several offers to rent the vehicle. And it stayed booked. So her husband decided to get her another one. We never got to use that one because of the same request. So in other words, several people were interested in their Sprinter business. And now they are the proud owners of 4 vehicles later now and found themselves in business. And God just dropped the business right into their lap. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. It has been a blessing, and he's kept me very busy. It's a high demand job, and it's not easy, but God gives you a blessing. You have to hit the alarm clock every day and make it happen. There is no days off, and it's not a first, second, or third shift job. It's continually working. So we have given up what we like to do, which is travel. So they're still getting to travel, but they have given up what they like to do, which is travel. There is no time for relaxation. It's work, work, work. All they know, they like Rihanna, work, 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 work. They stay working. I'm surprised they even got time to stop by Halls and visit me every now and then. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, also let me tell you, once we're finished, we'll go back over this again. But in order to book Ultimate Luxury, you would, of course, need to contact Miss Tammy Ferguson at 864-982 9503, or you can go to their website at outdoorsy.com, and that will take you right to their Ultimate Luxury. And we'll put that in our comments this evening once we are finished with our stream. And so therefore, if you watching the show and you have some interest in finding out more about Ultimate Luxury, then it'll be right there for you. And of course, you can connect with Tammy right here on Facebook. So without further ado, let's bring Tammy onto the show with plenty of hearts and likes.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Awesome.
You can also tell that my better half is missing. I left him in South Carolina because I had to fly to New York to meet my daughter.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure my speakers are there. We go. It's all way up. Just making sure. But yeah, I noticed you was missing the other hand. He probably somewhere working too, though, right? Y'all.
He's working hard. He told me he's firing me because I had to jump on a plane to come out here and meet my daughter because we out here in these streets. She's she out here working. She's out here working.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it, y'all. I'm sure you're enjoying your visit there as well, but also doing what y'all love to do, working. And one thing I say that I love about you guys is that your businesses, and this is was a question I was going to talk about, but while we are talking about, let's just go ahead and talk about it. This is a real relaxed situation. But one thing I really like about your family is you all are working very hard together to create an empire, and it was that they would say generational wealth, and you've got your children involved in it, and you're working together. It takes a very strong couple to be able to work together as much as you and Mr. Charles do, and staying within your space as much as y'all do. But I know you guys are making a big paving a way for the future. So how does that feel for you working? I mean, how is that work for you having family, and is that something that you always wanted to do?
Well, you know what's so funny? I never wanted to work with my husband because I never wanted. Every time I turn around, people was like, "Well, why don't you go to work for Charles?" Because I have insurance license as well, and
Right,
I don't want to work with my husband. I work with him, live with him. That would never happen.
right.
20 something years later, here it happened, right?
You know what they say? Don't never say ever, never.
And my daughter's in the she's a designer and a stylist.
Okay,
Yeah, so she's out here working in New York. She flew out here, so I'm out here working. Listen, we out here in these streets. When I'm telling, we just literally ran in, and I got them. I was trying to get on. So I'm coming through the elevator because
right.
yes. I'm
Well,
tell
it's
you,
so fun. I'm sorry, say that last part.
when I tell you I'm working, we are working.
I know the other day when we text, you said, "Don't forget to text me and remind me." And then of course, you text me a little bit before, and I said, "Oh no!" I said, "I said I hope she got everything that I was supposed to be sending over to her." But I know, hey, when you're working and trying to do, so I really appreciate you taking time out your schedule to do this, because I know you're working and busy and trying to do this as well with all the other things that you have going on as well.
Actually, your time is perfect because after this, shower and crashing. That's what I'm
Okay. Well, that works out perfect then. But
perfect.
we're gonna jump right on into the interview and learn a little bit more about your businesses and what you got going on. So, the first question I have for you is, what made you decide to become an entrepreneur?
Well, you know what? When you gave your entire life of working for somebody else to build their empire, to pay their empire off, sometimes you got to take a step back and find out what you're good at. And then you just got to take that and run with it and make a living out of it. And
Right,
what the funny thing of it, some of the things that you become a business owner is something that you didn't plan. Like, for instance, ultimate luxury. I didn't plan that.
right,
What I planned, like I said, is attitude cosmetics. I birthed out of attitude was the ultimate luxury, and that's
right.
the thing. I guess God say, I said I'm going this direction. God pushed me up, and said, "Yeah, but you're gonna do this here," and it's working out on both ends.
So you said you're gonna do this too, right?
It's not easy. If people think this is easy, they're like, "Oh, it's easy." It's certainly not easy. 'Cause
Right.
it's a tongue biter. It is a tongue biter.
Well, you mentioned that being an entrepreneur is something that you don't really get to. It's no like, oh well, I'm off work and you just go home and go to sleep. And my business is different from yours, but being a business owner, I can agree with some nights I'm in the bed and I'm like, oh man, did I send that email? I've literally gotten up in the middle of the night and turned my computer on and started emailing or doing something else because I forgot to do something. So you're always working. I often have sleepless nights because of anxiety of did I do something. And now it's been a little bit more relaxing here during COVID. Of course, I haven't been as intensely stressed because I haven't been working as much as a performer. But when we in full swing in the spring, it's like you always have to remember.
Yes. And you know what's so funny about this whole thing? A lot of my clientele is a lot of celebrity, a lot of dignitaries. So they got my phone number. So to them, it's nothing but them calling me at 1 or 2 o'clock at night to ask me a simple question.
Right.
Got to be there because if I was renting somebody else's vehicle and I had a question, I want them to be right there for me to ask them a question too. But sometimes they just forget that we are still humans. And they see all through the day, all through the night, and
Right.
they talking like I don't have to go to bed, and that's why it's
Right.
a never ending story. And
Yeah.
and and the thing of it is, if God didn't bless you with the sense of patience, it won't be for you. It
That's
won't
right.
be for you because you got to be a people person for this field here.
That's right. Most definitely.
Yeah.
It's funny you said it. I tried a few years ago. I said, I'm going to set business hours. I'm not answering no emails or calls till 9 a.m. and I'm going to stop answering calls or emails at 9 p.m. But it just don't work out because,
Yeah.
sometimes you be like, nah, I might mess around and miss the opportunity
Yeah.
or it could end up being a catastrophe. So you try to have that mindset of, I'm not answering that. But if you don't mind your own business, then somebody else will be minding
They
it
always have
technically.
always said you work harder at your own business, and I found out it's not a lie. It's a 24-hour thing. And like you said, you go to sleep, you tired, but something hit you. I forgot to do this. So you have to get back up and get it done.
That's
And
right.
it's never them first 3 or 4 years. And we basically is a year. We're not even a complete year into this.
Oh wow.
And it like I said, it was dropped in our lap and it just took off.
We. It's so funny how we met each other. It was just kind of like when we met each other. Instantly, we all became just cool with each other. And I was like, man, they such a cool couple, nice people. And y'all come to the house all the time. But y'all are so super humble. I would have never until you just that day we talked, and I was like, I didn't know. I had no clue that you had all these different businesses. Like y'all are so humble, down to earth, and I just really that's one thing I really love about both of you. And because you meet people all the time that are like, oh, I'm doing this,
Yeah.
I'm doing that, and but y'all, you if we hadn't started talking about business, it would have never came up. You were just kind of like, hey, we just here to enjoy the music. So I really appreciate that about you and Mr. Charles. I really do.
And I appreciate that. And I tell you what, we came out to house to eat for brunch one day.
Hmm.
And like I said, we met you, and I told my husband, I said, I can do this every Sunday, just listen.
That's
And so what happened after that? We was there every Sunday, and that's the
right.
main reason I come in, just to hear you sing. It just
Oh.
my week. I love it.
Well, I appreciate it, and it encourages. It's encouragement for us, and it just keeps us going to see when people come in that you can go over and speak. I mean, it feels like we just like got like an extended family. So I love that about the Sunday brunch because a lot of people come there and just on a regular basis. So always when y'all come in, I'm always happy to see y'all both.
And it's funny that you mentioned that humble thing because I even taught my daughter because she deal with a lot of A-listers. She's at a lot of events, award shows, but everybody that meet her, all the celebrities, they tell her they like her because she remain humble. And that's what
Right,
we're feeling ourselves to always remain humble because what God gives us is not for us, it's for the next person that's coming behind us. So I'm not that bragger.
right,
I'm your everyday tomboy. I'm just
right.
I love life. I love people, and nothing about me. I don't care if God ever blessed me to win the lottery. I am me. I'm always gonna be that same humble person.
That's right. As Cardi B would say, you a regular schmegular girl. She cracks me up when she says that. So, all right, we're gonna keep things going. So, in a nutshell, what does it take? What would you say, in your opinion, what does it take to become a business owner? I know we've talked about the commitment, but how did you start your journey? What did you sit down and say, okay, this is going to be my outline for how I get started?
Well, the first thing that I do, I sit down. Automatically, you thinking first thing, oh, what the money thing is. So once
Right,
you back out of that and realize it's always stepping stone, let's get a name, let's get it patent, let's start targeting what audience or either what kind of clientele you want, and you just start target because this is the funny thing. You were asking me this when we started Ultimate Luxury, Charles and I, like I said, we didn't decide to do this for the public. It was for me. So
Right.
we got the Sprinter, and he had it customized so it can be a luxury ride for me to carry all of our stuff. And like I said, after that, customers start wanting to rent the vehicle from us, and it turned out to be a positive thing. So for us to start from the bottom and work our way up to the rental business, it didn't work like that. So it's just basically like we started in the middle.
Right.
So I guess with that attracted the customers that we receive, and it's the
Right.
math cost. Everybody that comes to is because someone referred them, because that hands-on experience, the catering to the people, making sure that everybody had. At the end of the day, my name is attached to this, so I don't want anybody ever walk away and say, "Oh, I had a bad experience."
That's right.
You got you got to hit that target. Who you want to target, who you want to cater to, and you go from there. But treat everybody as if you're renting that vehicle. You want to feel clean. You want to feel special, and that's
Right.
what we do. So that's how we got into it. Like I said, we didn't get in ground floor because, like I said, it was dropped into my lap.
That's right. Wow. You
Other,
know, it's so
I,
funny.
yeah, I just
Say that again. I'm sorry. What was the last thing you did?
other than that, I just can't tell people honestly how to get started from ground zero, because that's not where we started with this from ground zero. It just took
Right.
like a 360 on me.
But what you said is very important. You did the things that you did say, because a lot of people, they, we had some financial advisors on the show a few, probably about maybe back in August, yeah, at the end of July, early August, and then we talked with them about starting businesses and how people automatically start a business and want to run out here and start taking out loans and getting all this debt. And I always think of starting a business like starting a marriage. Yeah, I get married. I mean, this is just me. I can only speak for myself. I'm not. I'm not trying to put anybody else down for doing what they do, but I just couldn't imagine spending that type of money on a wedding. I just can't. I never have been that person that could go out here and spend. I mean, some people just, man, I'll be like, you
Yeah,
start your marriage in debt. You
yeah,
you don't want to start your marriage or your business in debt. It's like,
instead of instead of putting the water, testing the water first to see how it go before you go and get in there. You
that's
right,
right.
you're right, because like I say, with the first vehicle, we was getting it just for us. But like I said, when everyone started to rent it from us, it was like ongoing. So it was never free for me to travel with my makeup to go do shows.
Right.
So that's how we got another one. And it was a continuing factor. So
That's right. And
here
you
it
know that based off of how you saying this happened, that was really a God thing because it happened the way it happened. It sounds like it just fell right, like you said, and I agree with you. You said it just fell in your lap. It sounds like that's what some in life. Some things happen and you be like, man, this just seems so right. Like this is exactly what I was supposed to be doing, and the way the process went. And you make sure you tell Mr. Charles that's a very nice gift he's got. I'm like, wow. I'm like, he got you a whole spurt. That was a nice a startup for the business for sure.
and
Addition to your makeup business.
he have been the best. When I told him that, and now I have the makeup company with my best friend Bridget Cunningham.
Okay.
Told him that we gonna start a makeup company. When he jumped in ground zero with us, and he have been there every event, everything. We went and got certified as a makeup artist. He went as well because he felt left out. When we go do shows, women love him. Women love for him to do their makeup. Women love for him to sell the makeup to them. Charles have been there since ground zero with me.
That's awesome.
Yes, he has.
Man, that's even more makes the concept of family even more because a lot of men, oh, that's y'all thing, I'm gonna stay out of that, but that's not. It's good that he's gotten involved and he understands the business, because you want your partner, which is also your life partner, your spouse, to know your business. God forbid, but you never know what could happen, and he can keep the business. He knows the business, so that's very important.
And he's business minded. He before, to give you an example, if we're going to buy a car, while the guy sitting over here trying to calculate the numbers, Charles can tell him what the payment is down to the penny. When we were building our house, they calculating doing our paperwork. He's in 5 minutes. I see him look at the ceiling when he come back down. He can tell it what it is to the penny because my husband, cum laude, brain smart. When it comes to those, he's a business guy.
Right.
Nice.
He made sure when we had to drive to Texas, to Florida, wherever, he get us there. I can sleep and I could relax. He will get you there. Charles is in with you. I can't ask for a better. I can't listen. I got the best husband in the world.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I got
It
the
really is. And I could tell that y'all are very close. I knew that immediately when I first met y'all. You just got good energy. Y'all just good
best.
people. And I appreciate you. I really do.
Appreciate.
That's awesome. I hope he watching this so he can hear you say that.
He'll watch it later on. He's on.
Okay. All right, we're gonna keep things going.
Okay.
Are there any ways that you're supporting the community? For instance, are you guys doing any type of fundraisers or donations or drives? And this could be for either one of your businesses.
Actually, it's funny that you asked that because we have also put out there. We are hoping to have some of the vehicles freed up coming up on elections. If they gonna need a ride, they gonna need to contact me so we can get them there.
Okay,
It's gonna be no way, no excuse. They gonna say I didn't have a way. I'm offering to pick you up and take you to the polls.
that's
It's
awesome.
gonna be no
Nice.
ands or buts about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we try. If it's a need for it, we will be there. We are in.
Well, I'm gonna say this now. You let me know if you need help with anything. If you need
Okay.
additional people to help you with that, or any whatever it is, whether it be getting people on the bus, pushing them up in there, whatever. Not just whatever you need. You let me know if you need some extra hands on that, and I'd be happy to come and help
Contact
you
me
what I can.
to get them and get them there.
Most definitely. That's awesome. That's
I'm go early, so I'll be free.
okay. Yeah, that's awesome because a lot of people that's the main reason I hear a lot of people say they don't go because they don't have transportation. Somebody didn't come, and that's great that y'all are doing that. And I know I've read that they those I don't know as much about sprinters, of which I'm going to learn today, but I know they hold. I saw some that hold up to 10 people, so you would be able to make a couple trips and get a good bit, and then they be riding this style too.
Wear your mask when I come and get you. That's
That's
all.
right. Put your mask on. We don't want nobody getting sick. That's right.
Right.
That's awesome. So and I have to ask you this now. If you do that, let me know because I've always wanted to look in a sprinter. I've never looked inside of one. I've always wanted to look inside of one and see how it's set up.
No,
Say that again.
I'll make it special. Charles will take care of that for you. I'll make
Okay.
sure.
All right, you let me know when I need to contact. I said I was gonna say that today. I'm like, I want to see what inside of one because I remember we were looking at vehicles for our band and we looked at one of those. I said, man, that's almost too nice for us to be carrying all this equipment. We need to get something. We're gonna throw some stuff in, and it don't matter. I was like, these are too nice to be carrying a bunch of junk in here. So we ended up not getting one. But man, those vehicles are really nice,
Thank you.
very nice. All right. So most importantly, how do you feel about our current situation with
Uh,
COVID? I'm sorry, excuse me, with COVID and all this. How do you feel about current? Let me finish the question. That's probably why that didn't make sense. Most importantly, how do you feel about our current situation in this country has affected both as entrepreneurs, or do you feel that your business has been have you had any flubbers or hurdles during the COVID, or it sounds like your business is doing better. That's what it sounds like to me.
it actually, I honestly, I hate that the country is going through this, but
Yes.
actually, as far as our business and anybody in transportation, it's been good for us because a lot of people are not wanting to fly, but they are wanting
Right.
to get out of the house. So that's another reason we stay booked. Continue.
Right.
Yeah. So if once the country come back, I still think that God gonna bestow another blessing upon us because people are getting used to riding in luxury. They got their family, they can stretch out, they have a bathroom, they got the refrigerator, they got the sink.
Right.
So they said basically the only reason they stopping it is just a fuel up.
Right.
I think COVID has hurt the country, but it has been a blessing. And
Right.
yes.
And you're not the only business owner that said that, or entrepreneur. I mean, different businesses have benefited, and I felt like that was probably one of the things that people were doing now is renting the sprinters for travel. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's perfect because you ain't got to go out and be around people. I mean, you get out the sprinter, put your gas in, and keep rolling. You ain't got to be going into the restaurant. I mean, you could put your food and stuff there on the sprinter. You don't have to get off and be interacting with people, and people still wanted to vacation. There's people that wanted to still get out here on vacation, still wanted to go to the beach, still wanted to get away because, especially during COVID, because I mean, that was a real depressing time to be sitting up in the house like that. So I bet you if people probably really did, business did pick up tremendously.
Yeah. And like I say, got a people saying they picking up their elderly parents because they didn't want their parents to get sick. A lot of people have their kids. They want to just take their kids away. So, like I say, it's been great for us.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that some of the businesses would be considered smaller opposed to a Fortune 500 company or something major. But I'm glad to hear that smaller businesses are still flourishing, because we know when this first happened, a lot of these major corporations really was super greedy and was taking a lot of money.
Yes.
So, and that wasn't all of them, but there were a lot of them that were taking money that they should not have been taking. So to hear that smaller businesses are still doing well and that people are still, flourishing and surviving, because there's a lot of people that didn't. So I'm glad to hear that things are going well.
Yes, it is. It really is.
All right, we're gonna take a quick pause and we got our sponsorship plug, and we'll be right back. So sit tight, and I'll be right back. All right, folks. As you know, our good friend, and actually George will be joining us in November. He'll be coming to the show. I'm wait. Oh, sorry. No, that's okay. I got it. You good? So here's George's CD. Do. And George is a sponsor for us here on the show, and we've been kind of using him as our special sponsor feature for the last couple of weeks, because he was so kind to donate to us all these CDs and of his project, and we know how hard it is to put a project together. So George, we're very appreciative that you were able to donate these CDs, and we're going to get him on the show. And George is going to give away his own products on the show. We'll be doing that here in November coming up. All right, so before we go back to our special guest, I'm going to go over a little bit of George's career. So excuse me, George is a guitarist that brings all the richness and melodic soul of Latin rhythms from his birthplace of Cuba. Garcia's intense passion for his instrument is immediately visible and colorful, audible through his unique original compositions, his impeccable solos and supportive rhythmic guitar. George Garcia has performed across the globe with the renowned and impressive talents of Tony Bennett, Richie Cole, Patti Page, Andrea Bocelli, The Drifters, and Enrique Iglesias. Garcia's new Garcia's new recording will hit the airways not only in the United States but globally in 2020. The jazz fusion arrangements are gaining steam that will carry his unique sound across borders to countries including Canada, South America, Europe, Japan, and many more starting in April 2020. If you'd like to know more about George, please visit georgegarcia.com or contact Stephanie Snipes at 864-991-1833 or 954-793-7557. Thanks, George, so much for supporting us here online with Jamie Wright. We'll be giving away George's CDs when he joins us in November. And I talked to George just last week, and he said his album is doing very well, and it is being played on quite a few different stations. And because George is originally from Miami, so he's getting quite a bit of airplay there. And of course, hopefully, he's connecting with some folks here to get his album out as well. So we're going to make sure we keep supporting them and supporting the arts, of course. All right. So I'm back. So we're gonna we got a second segment. So folks, if you're watching, now would be a great time to start preparing questions for Tammy, and getting your questions together that you might want to ask her. And of course, we'll make sure we answer those and get those asked here on the live show. And of course, welcome us back with hearts and lights. All right, so we're gonna get back in our second segment. This I'm really gonna get into breaking down the sprinter business because I'm very curious about it. So I have some questions here that might help some other people get a clear understanding of what the business is about, and also how they can go and what the process of is to rent the vehicle as well.
Okay.
So you mentioned now. My first question is, you kind of already answered this. You mentioned that you explained how the business fell into your lap. So I'm just going to go over that. You mentioned that you started your makeup business, and your husband purchased you a sprinter for that business,
Yeah.
and you almost had to get kicked out your own sprinter because everybody kept wanting to rent it.
I got mad at him because he started renting it, and that was for me, and I kind of got mad, but then I seen what what was going on.
Right. Right. So you ain't never get on that Tammy and somebody else was sitting on there like
I rented out. I was like, but I have a show.
Right.
Show to him, but I didn't get to use it.
That's right. Well, and folks, that is a funny story, but that story led Tammy to owning the business that she owns now, and having the opportunity to be the owner of 4 sprinters for her business. So, and that's the ultimate luxuries. That's the name of the sprinter service. So, and I said this. So, who are you mentioned some of your you talked about some of your daughter's customers, but what was your goal when this started kicking off? What are some of your target customers, and what are some of your typical customers? Are who are you normally renting to?
Well, who I was actually targeting was just grown folk in particular, to give them
Right.
give them that luxury ride when they're out and about. Like, for instance, a girls' weekend, a girls' week, or something. I was thinking that, but then that got turned around. Everybody started calling because now we are in the middle of COVID, so they want to get their kids out. So now it's becoming a family thing. Then I'm
Right.
getting calls from people in different states wanting me to drive it there, and I'm thinking, drive it for you to take it somewhere. But it started to be an ongoing thing. Start getting calls from different celebrities. Well, from their people. Their people were calling me, which I'm my own people. And I can't call names because I signed a lot of non-compete.
Right. I understand.
Yeah, I got some majors out there.
That's awesome.
I got some prime ministers out there.
Get out of town. That's awesome.
But
That is great.
yes, some senators and some congressmen out there, but we can't call any names.
That's right. Well, I understand that. That's part of the business. You gotta keep that stuff exclusive between you and your clients. That's why some people end up out of business because they don't know how to be,
Yeah,
be quiet.
yeah, I can keep a secret now.
Now, I was gonna say you mentioned that. Now, are you guys driving? Are you driving people, or are they actually?
Yes, I will deliver and pick up. We do. That's why he's on the road now. He had
Okay.
to get my sister to, ride with him this time since I had to come to New York. But yeah, we deliver.
Okay. But when you deliver the vehicle, you're not actually driving the family. You're just delivering the vehicle, and then they do what
Uh,
they need to do, and you come back and pick it back up.
yeah,
Okay.
yes,
Just wanted to get a clear understanding to make sure I got a clear understanding of it. So you are just
and that,
dropping off and
and that's one of the questions. First thing I asked him: do you need me to deliver, or would you like to pick it up? Because I just have just one general location. If they want to pick up, I try to have them to pick up like in a busy parking lot.
mm-hmm.
With a lot of stuff going on, I want people to think, that we're gonna do something to them. So I try to make sure we in a busy parking lot where they can pick up or drop off. So they got that option to either we can deliver or they can come and pick it up.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, how far have y'all had to deliver a vehicle? Can you recall?
Oh yeah, I'm constantly. We are in the part of North Carolina. I've been to all parts of Georgia. Got a call it for Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you listen. If you need it to be delivered, it's going to be delivered. It's a delivery fee. So
Right.
They don't mind paying it, and I don't mind driving it.
I know that's right. That's awesome.
I just
Now,
we can vacation whenever we do deliver, but we don't because normally have to get back because it's always an in and out between the vehicles. So
right. Most
yeah.
definitely. Well, that's awesome that you have the that option to for vehicles to be dropped off or for them to be picked up. Now, I let's see here. Now I know Sprinters are a pretty luxury vehicles. As my cousin say, they Benzos, Mercedes Benz. Most of them come in that. So tell us a little about what they include and what the variations of styles are that you offer.
Okay, we have three styles. Um, Particularly all four of them seat 10 people comfortably.
Okay.
When I say and that's 10 adults
Okay.
comfortably. Two of the sprinters have a partition that's right behind the driver's seat because I have a lot of celebrities want to be separated from their driver, so they have that partition that you can let up and down. One
Right.
and plus, our three of them have a toilet, refrigerator, microwave. One of my sprinters don't have a toilet at all, so it's extra storage space, and that happened to be my favorite one because it don't have the toilet. But yeah,
You probably need that space.
yeah, you have that choice because like
Okay.
there's three different styles there.
I love the captain's chairs too. I bet that's real good for the children, so they're not on there bopping each other upside the head because you know how kids get on a long trip.
Yeah,
So
and to mention that, of course, you got the driver's seats, the two captain seats right behind the driver. Those swivel to face the back. The
okay,
captain's chairs behind those recline, and they have the footrest. Then you got the two seats in the back that let down. Well, four adults can sit.
okay,
Nice.
Yeah, comfortably.
yeah,
Adults can
yeah.
sit there. And
That's awesome.
yeah,
Those are very. And before you came on the show, I was just doing research on sprinters. I mean, I even seen some on. I mean, some online that you have beds in them. I was like, man, this thing you don't never have to get out this car, out this vehicle if you don't want to.
yeah.
That's amazing. I love that they come. They have so many custom versions of it. That's great. And I'm sure the bathroom is a big seller.
I I would never imagine, but I can understand when people say they don't want to get out, they want their family exposed to COVID.
Right.
It's been a big hit for us.
I bet so.
The one
That's
with
a hit for me, period. Because I'm that person that get on my nerves having to get stopped every 10 minutes. Like on a long trip. Everybody like, oh, don't give Jamie that to drink. I'm like the worst. I barely can make it to work in the morning, but I have to
oh
stop.
God,
So
yeah,
that would be
I,
very beneficial for me. I'm the worst.
but yeah,
All right. So I could be wrong about this. And based off what you're saying, and again, I'm new to this world. I didn't know I didn't know anything about Sprinter and the actual service until I met you and Charles. But are you considered one of the only businesses here in the upstate, or one of the few of the here in the upstate?
we actually is the only one in the upstate as for
Okay.
now, because I
Okay.
yeah, people are already telling me they gonna follow in our footsteps. So I've been getting that, but yeah, we are the only one. So that's why I get a lot of business out of different states. And but this is the thing. It's another gentleman that I ran into that lives in Atlanta. He has sprinters, but he have the party sprinters.
I was just about to ask
Ooh.
about that.
Yeah, he have the one like with the poles in the center and the lights and all that.
The
So they
disco ball.
Yeah, because he have called us to get sprinter from us for some of his high end clients that don't require the party sprinters. That just
Okay.
luxury ride and that comfortability.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Greenville is of course, this area is growing, but those are sprinters are very popular in major cities because you often if you watch any reality TV or probably like in the 2000s, they stayed on sprinters. Every time they would record something, they were traveling. A lot of them were on sprinters, and I remember them. all of the shows that were like on MTV and all that stuff, and they would have, you're right, they would have the polls, and they would be the party sprinters. A lot of those would be for celebrating birthday parties or going out that night, and they could put everybody on like two of those sprinters and just take them where they needed to be. So those are really popular in a major like Miami, New York, and all major cities. But it's great to know that we have, that there's a company here that offers that service now. That's awesome.
And you know what's funny? About 7, 8 years ago, Charles and I was in Paris, and I seen sprinters, and I was like, "What are those ugly things?" It was just actually just like regular work sprinters, and I was,
Right,
we don't have those in the state. But
right.
for some years, here they are in the state
That's
because
right,
they had to do well in Paris and across the seas and all before they came here, and now you see them everywhere.
right.
Like you
And
said, party buses.
they be driving the sprinters over there like they during like them things little compact. They be flying in them. But you know, in Paris they flying in European.
Yeah.
They drive like they're ready for the police. Non-stop. They are very aggressive drivers.
And
I
they
think it might be because they don't have any speed limit,
exactly.
but well, that's awesome. So, what would you say? And now we're gonna say hypothetically there was, because since there is no other service, but what do you feel like really sets you apart in your service from maybe even some that you looked at online? What are some things that set your business apart from other businesses that offer Sprinter service or any type of party buses there in Atlanta? What would set you apart?
You know, that's a good question because me personally, I'm that person like this, and I try to offer it to other people. I don't care what kind of service, what kind of product you got. If you got excellent customer service, you can buy me for a penny.
That's
So
right.
I try to offer that customer service to everybody because you know everybody you meet, you got to be a different person for that person just to cater
Right.
to them. But I try to get them that first class customer service. I try to be touchable at reach. I try to be hands on with them. And
Right.
I always want to remind, even with my makeup, I'm hands on. You always can call me. It's not you can
Right.
talk to the machine, talk to someone else. You gonna get me, and I'm gonna talk to you because I have been on the phone with people, and I'll an hour or so just try to get them to a point where everything is smooth. If there's a problem, and
Right.
that's my thing, customer service all the way.
That's right. You're exactly right. Customer service is very important. You
Yeah.
know, I meet people all the time and I be thinking to myself, now how y'all think y'all gonna run a business? I don't understand how somebody think they can run a business and have bad customer service. That behooves me. I never, it would behoove them to have good customer service, but that always made me just be like, that don't make sense for your customer service to be bad. Do you think people gonna come back? Because I mean, I go online on like any of these social media sites, and people, they have the little promotional stuff that comes up, and people will come on there and they'll call you out. Some people take joy in going on somebody's site and put negative. You got to be careful about that. You're exactly right. That customer service is like got to be
Everything.
a plus.
Yes, customer service is that be if I cook some bad noodles, but my customer service is impeccable. I want the people to remember me by the customer service, not how bad my food was.
Right.
Yes, they're like, oh, she got bad food, but she got the best customer service.
That's right.
Right.
Now I want to say this because I know I'm going to say this. You don't necessarily have to say anything. I know we're talking about your business. I don't want to put you in a hot seat, but I'm going to say this, that we talked about people, starting a business and other people saying, "Hey, tell me how you got started. Tell me what you did with this. Tell me what you did with that." So I personally want to comment on this quickly and say that I think it's important to help other people. I think it's important to extend out and help other people. But I also think that people have to want to do the work, because being your own business, being running your own business, having your own business, you have to work hard. You can't go out here and try to carbon copy your business after somebody else's. You think
Absolutely.
about McDonald's and Burger King. They both got fast food. They both got burgers. They both got fries. but you're not gonna walk in Burger King and it look like, and you ain't gonna see Ronald sitting up in there in Burger King, and you ain't gonna go over there to Burger King and see King sitting up in McDonald's. They have their own promotional approach. They have their own look. They have their own items that are appealing to the community. So the point of me saying this is that I know right now you're the only service out here in this area, Sprinter service, but I know people are seeing the idea and they're like, oh man, as soon as somebody else do something, they like flies on poop. They want to jump over there and jump on it and start getting involved with it. But I hope that people see the idea, and you can't stop nobody from doing stuff, but I hope that people can take the any advice you give them or anything you do and try to create their own products and allow there to be some individuality there. Too many people do that, and you got it. And that to me, when you don't want to be an individual, that to me means that you just took somebody else's idea and trying to capitalize off of it because you think you're gonna make money. And that's the problem. That's when the bad customer service comes in. That's when the lack of hard work comes in your product. And then people like that make it bad for the whole industry because they're not trying to make their product a good product because they look at it as, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to bring something to the community and I want my business to be at a certain level. They just trying to make money, because if you ain't sat down and come up with your own ideas, you're just trying to make money. You're not taking the business as serious as the person that you carbon copying, because they sat down and came up with that idea and concept because they were the person that started it. So I just want to put that out there, and not just about your business, but in general, because a lot of people are starting businesses right now because there's a lot of grants and loans out here and people jumping out and starting businesses, and that's great. But make sure that you put in your own perspective on and your own ideas and putting in the work, because if you don't put the work in, I don't care what it is, it's not gonna last. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a relationship, if it's a business, I don't care, it don't matter what it is. If you don't put the work in and really try to find a way to make something stand out and customize it for yourself, it's just not gonna last, and then that makes it hard on other people. So I just wanted to say that, because I know we talked about this privately, but that's just my opinion about it, because I feel like people need to work hard and try to do their own take what they can from it, but don't try to mimic something somebody else is doing. You're not gonna be able to do it because it wasn't your idea in the first place. So,
and you know what, and it's the absolute truth. I don't mind helping anybody, but I'm not gonna stand there and I'm at the top of the ladder, but I had to go through hell and heartache to get to the top. And then I'm gonna reach over and just put the ladder there for you.
right.
You get there, you're not gonna appreciate it. So you going down the ladder. So if I'm extend a hand, that means you need to work and come on up where I'm at. Don't try to be cutthroat and try to push off on my business when it's a lot of work out there for everybody.
That's right.
Do it the right way.
Listen, you right. You might mess around with that ladder over there, and they just throw you off. You just you just never know. So you're exactly right.
It happened. I have real estate and insurance license. Every time I talk to somebody, well, I was gonna do that first, and I'm like, I've been doing it forever. And because you're talking to me now, you're gonna do it. I started a makeup business. All of a sudden, you see different makeup business, and it's identical to what I have. My same clientele, everything. But this is the thing. I have had people try to cut throat with that.
Right.
But mine end up in movies. My makeup end up in movies. Celebrities wear my makeup, and I didn't try to cut throat no one to get one. I put in the hard work.
Right.
I put me out there. Bridget put us out there. We did what we had to do to get to the next level, because it's work out there for everybody. But I'm not going to try to hurt another person's business to make it to the top, because every time you do that, like you said, them little steps on that ladder will break.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And you're exactly right. And I mean, and at the end of the day, it's this little thing called karma, and you can't get away from it. You can't escape karma, that's for sure. And I never understood. I think it's part of the artistic side of me. I never understood somebody wanting to be just like somebody else. I never understood that. The artistic side of me is always that the things about me that are quirky or that may be weird to somebody else are the things that make me unique and special. So it took me some time to get to that place. As people, I mean, I didn't always feel that way, but I never understood trying to be just like somebody else. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
So I just wanted to say that before we move forward, that I'm glad that you guys are doing this, and again, you can't stop people from doing stuff, but I hope that people will be mindful of that and look at it as a team and not always trying to just come in and take or start calling people and say, hey, we can do this for this price, or trying to drop the price. They don't realize that devalues the business. When you start doing that, it's better to be, everybody need to be on the same page. As a musician, we experience that as well. We experience people going, oh, well, we won't only charge you this much. We can come and do it for this much. But I always say you do what you pay for. So
that is so true. That is so true. And then they want to be disappointed after they done paid for something. Well,
right.
This is the thing. Somebody try to badmouth your business, you better look out. Like you say, it's two ways this thing gonna work. It's either gonna be karma or it's gonna be conviction.
That's right.
So pick your path before you go out there and try to sabotage somebody else's path.
That's right.
That conviction will come down on you, or karma will come down on you. Either way, neither one of them gonna show no mercy.
That's right. Yeah, you mess around and be right back where you started from, back at the bottom of that ladder. So I wanted to ask you basically, what advice would you have for someone who wanted to start a sprinter business? Is there any advice you would have for someone who wanted to start the business?
If this is my advice. That is a real good question. If you want to start a sprinter business, first find out what your clientele will be.
Right.
Whether you want to transport senior citizens to their appointments or to pick up groceries, whether you want to transport kids. I talked to a lady the other day. That's the only thing they doing since school is closed. She bought just a regular van just to transport kids out of the neighborhood to the school. And she says become a business for her.
That's
Find
awesome.
what your niche is and what your love is and go with it. Because everybody's not going to just be just a regular rental.
Right.
Whether if you can, personally, if I could drive my own vehicles, I would, because a lot of times it come back just the arm broken off. They done broke something.
Oh man.
So find out what your niche is. Go with it, because I'm telling you, transportation is where it's at. That's whether you delivering for Amazon, you can contract for Amazon, you can do anything. Get anything that's in transportation and roll with it.
That's right. That's good. And it's amazing because since COVID, people have just you got the movers and the shakers and people that are really thinking outside of the box and creating businesses. And the other day I was talking to a friend of mine. He's bought like a food truck and just going around, because some people just still don't want to leave the house. And so you got stuff like all these different apps where you can go and get food, or they bring the food to you. Right. But he started doing that and going through neighborhoods and delivering food themselves. Because he said the truck, you can park it, but you can drive it too. You can cook it and drive it where you need to go too. So
I had told my husband about 4 years ago, we were sitting there talking, and because I was watching CNN, and they was talking about how all these stores was going into bankruptcy. I told him, and I said, anybody get into transportation, that's where the money's going to be, because eventually all the stores is going to shut down.
Yeah.
So UPS, Federal Express going to be so overwhelmed with delivering packages.
Right.
Amazon that got into the point where they are contracting people to deliver. So you can have a vehicle to deliver packages, but you'll still be your own boss. You contract somebody big.
Right. You're exactly right. I mean, there's a lot of stores that closed, and
Yeah,
I remember one day a man delivered some Amazon. I was like, "Why that man got my Amazon package?" Because he just had on, he's just
yeah,
subcontracted, and
Regular
I was
car.
right
Yeah.
regular car. I'm like, was
yeah.
taking something off, but I didn't realize it until. But they, like you said, they were very overwhelmed with the amount of deliveries they had.
And I'm telling you where the biggest money is coming from now. It's Uber and Lyft. Yeah, they making their money, but that
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
delivery, you got your own vehicle and you doing that's where the money is at.
Right, Uber Eats and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and even Instacarts. Lord knows I pay enough to, tip wise.
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be the biggest. It's going for the next 10 years. That's gonna be the biggest thing ever because people are getting used to this. I don't have to leave my house. That's why people don't order clothes. Everybody order nothing but sweat clothes and lounge wear.
I was gonna say that might be another industry
Well,
that's making a lot of money, right?
they are
Uh,
saying,
pajamas.
yeah, groceries and all. So if you got your own vehicle, that would be my advice. Get your vehicle and find out what your niches and where you can make the most money at.
Right.
And that's what I would go with.
That's good advice. Very good, solid advice. Now we've been talking so much, and I've really enjoyed this interview because I feel like I'm just hanging out, talking to a good friend of mine, which you are. But I do want to touch base a little bit on the COVID here. We're getting close to the time, so I'll make it quick so we don't go too far over because I know you had a long day, and I don't want to hold you past too much past the time that we have set. But I wanted to ask you what are some of the guidelines that you all are following with your sprinters? I know you were keeping busy, but are there some? Because I did go on the site and notice where you have a cleaning service. So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, we have a cleaning service, and I set it up with the guys. Every time one come in, it has to be clean. But I'm so anal. My husband told me I'm anal. Even after it come back from cleaning up, I got to do it myself because me, everything somebody breathe on and touch, I'm going back and clean it. You know, you pull the seatbelt over, so I'm putting
Right,
the seatbelt down. I'm getting it. When you clasp it, I'm getting it. I'm getting
right.
the walls. I clean the ceilings, the lights on the inside, steering wheel, all the buttons on the seats in front and the back, on the side, the armrest. I'm mopping the floors and I'm vacuuming and I'm cleaning the windows. Everything that's been touched or that you can breathe and your breath laying out, I'm anal. So it gets a double cleaning. Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Well, that's good for with everything that's going on. That's great that you're
I
doing
want
that because
yeah, I want them to get in that vehicle and feel like it's theirs because when I get in my car has to be immaculate on the inside.
that's
I'm
right.
germophobic and yeah, ugh,
Well, I know that about you, Miss Tammy, because you always well put together. I felt like you. I mean, and I'm somewhat anal like that too. I have a lot of stuff, but I have to have it organized in a certain kind of way. It can't just be like all over the place. But I was gonna say, but I was gonna say that that's great. I'm sure people really appreciate that right now with COVID. And then you want to make sure that you're. I mean, the last thing you need is somebody getting sick that's been in contact with any of your vehicles. So that's great to hear that you're taking the extra measures to make sure that you keeping that your client safe.
yeah. But because I know the guys do a good job, but my cleanup is not like your cleanup, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting it all, the crevices and all. Yeah, I got to get it.
Right. So let's see here. Okay, we doing good.
Okay.
So just curious, what are some things? What do you see in the future for your business? Do you have any other plans or anything else that you? I know you say you've been in business for about a year, a little bit under a year now. But what do you have any visions for 2021 that y'all really want to change the structure of the business, or some? Are you going to add on any sprinters or anything like that?
I'm asking my husband let's not add on anymore because honestly have me stretched out.
Right.
In the back of his little mind, I think he want to add just one more. I don't want to add anymore. I could have stopped that too. I would have been content.
Right.
But see, he's not doing all the cleaning and all in there. So, you know, a man, they have all these ideas and don't realize what goes on behind all of this in
That's
dealing with our customers. But yeah, I think one more, and then
yeah.
yeah, I
That's a
think
good round. That's a good round number five.
yeah, yeah.
Now, during this, I know you said that you had a good success during this time. But is there anything that you would do differently? And that's just an entrepreneur. Is there anything that you would do differently as far as your businesses are concerned?
I actually I would like. I'm gonna go back to your previous questions.
Okay.
Once I start making money, I want to hire drivers
Okay.
because yeah, if we got a just say if we're going to do a girlfriend's trip,
Mm-hmm.
one out of the girlfriends is going, nobody gonna want to drive.
That's right.
Let's get a driver to do it. So I would like to eventually incorporate that into it.
You made a comment about people they come back and the arm gone, armrest broke, or and, you said you made a comment. You also said you would like to drive. Maybe that would, having drivers will probably cut down on things like that too. Because vehicles that size, everybody can't drive a vehicle that size either. So I bet it's probably like that would be a fear. If I was a business in your shoes, that would be a fear of mine. Like, Lord, I hope that whoever driving this can drive it.
Let me tell you, I had a customer, Lord have mercy. They was up in Montana. You know how the mountains are windy. So he decided they going up the mountains. Of course, it was a traffic delay. So you sitting there 20, 30 minutes. They decide they going to back the vehicle back down the mountain. So they went off the cliff a little bit and busted off, stepped it up under there.
They
Busted.
said it.
When he
Say
called
it again.
out sick, I was like, "Are you serious?"
No, wait. What did they bust now? What'd you say they did?
Oh, septic tank that's up under there for the toilet that in the.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's why eventually I want to add a drivers because
Right.
the things that happen.
Right.
Unexpected.
Somebody that can listen. When I first got my SUV, I was like, oh Lord, because I have been driving such small cars. So it's everybody's not used to driving vehicles, and that was not the smartest thing. I dropped back down the mountain. What the heck?
Oh, you gonna back that big vehicle down a windy mountain with cars behind them. So cars trying to get over, and you on a one. It's like one road.
That was crazy.
And they would have.
Listen, they better be glad they actually made it, didn't end up off the side of them. That was crazy.
Yes.
They some daredevils. Ain't no way in the world I would have ever did that like that.
Now you see why I want to eventually add drivers.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. So I'm sorry, I have one more question here. I'm trying to make sure I'm kind of editing it in my mind.
Okay.
So what do you think? What is your hope for the future once this pandemic becomes more manageable? And this is not a business question. This is just in general. What is your hope for the country in general once this pandemic becomes more manageable?
My hope for the country is everybody unite as one. Just love. Just
Right.
all this hatred. Just put everything aside because this country was supposed to be built on love. When God first planned this country, it was planned for everybody to love, but none of that is happening. Everybody
Right.
see who can destroy one another.
That's right.
It's the democracy of it all, the art,
Right.
the hatred, the killing. I just want everybody to come together because once everybody unite, we don't have no choice but as a United States but to grow and go up because right now everything is crumbling like the Twin Towers. Exactly.
That's right.
Amen.
It's really hard to believe that we're in 2020 and people are, that some of the things that are going on right now are going on. And you made a point that it was the people that was fighting people, mad at people, and fighting people because they wanted to wear masks, and the people that didn't want to wear the mask. I'm like, do we got to fight about everything? Does everything have to be so like extra? It's like people just trying to find anything to argue about. Like, whatever they can. If you don't like, I don't like this bread. I like this bread. I'm gonna fight you. It's like whatever issue there is. It's just made this big dynamic. As my daddy say, they turn them out molehills into mountains.
Oh yes, mountain to molehill to mountain. You right.
Right. So, and I agree with you. Hopefully that we can get past all this stuff and find some level of peace, and that people, there's always going to be people out there who just going to be themselves. But it just seems like things are really, everything is very sensitive and real over the top right now. Hopefully things will settle back down. And it's just been a rough year. It really has been a rough year for so many different reasons. And but I am glad to hear that your business has made it through the storm and still functioning. And I'm definitely gonna be in touch with you because I do want to come and come and visit and look inside one of the spreaders. And I'm gonna sit up in there and fake like I'm driving in the front seat.
Just let us know. I'm like I say, I have Charles to set it up with you.
All right, I'll make sure I reach out and get that situated. So just before we end our interview, I always like to take of course, want to thank you very much for taking time out your schedule because I know you're traveling and you got a lot going on. But the other thing I'd like for you to do is to just also just let us know where we can go again and find your business and how we can contact you right here on the interview.
Yes, ma'am. You always can contact me. I'm Tammy Ferguson at 864-982-9503. My husband is Charles Ferguson, 864-444-6322. And you always can find our sprinters at outdoorsy.com.
Awesome.
You always can contact us there.
Great. And these sprinters are and you can use them for a variety of things. Family vacation. If you want to ride yourself around town, look cute. Get up, dress up, drive.
A minimum of 2 days now. And
okay.
Everything and anything that you do is up to you. I just tell people just to have fun.
That's right.
Have fun. That's what it's about.
That's right. Most definitely. And don't tear nothing up. Nah. Well, Tammy, I want to thank you again so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you taking time out your schedule. And I know, and tell your daughter thank you also because I know y'all up there wide open working, and I know you're working together because aren't you there doing some of your makeup while you're there too? You're also working with her on that as well.
Here she is. Look, she's smiling. She's swishing up on her.
Well, tell her we say hello. Until I said, did she go? Hello, how you doing? I love your parents; they're great people. I've really enjoyed the interview. And your mama told me a lot about you. I'm so glad to hear that you're doing everything that you're doing with your career. And maybe just one day I'll become famous and you can style me too, like outside of this area famous. Well, thank y'all so very much for doing this. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my quick shout out to my sponsors: Krakatoa Coffee Company, Vurchoo Apparel, Big Ted's House of Drums, Bye Bye Belly, Paw Alkaline Water, Upstate Graphics and Imaging, Custom Creations by Lesley. We thank all of our sponsorships. And next week we're gonna have our special guest, Chaye Alexander. She'll be on discussing the music venue ownerships, entrepreneurship during COVID. This has been a great month because we've had some very powerful women on the show that are running their own businesses and out here making it happen. And I have the next two guests are all, as I say, powerhouses in the entrepreneurship as women. So that's great. That's why I wanted to have you on this month. So I'm so glad that you were able to do it and come on. And I hope you have a safe trip back. Are you gonna be back in time for Sunday?
I will be back in time for Sunday.
Okay.
So I got to hear you. Listen, you make my week go by. When we don't go, it's just a blah week. I need to get that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it because that's what the brunch is all about. Positivity and hopefully helping people just make it through the week. Now this Sunday I'll be there in the morning and in the afternoon. So if you should happen to miss me in the morning, I'll be there from 5:30 to 8:30 too. So Just a little FYI, y'all, if you're tired on Sunday morning.
Sounds
But
good.
well, I appreciate it. Have a safe trip back, and I will see you on Sunday.
Thank you, Jamie. Love you.
Thank you. I love you too. I appreciate it. Tell Mr. Charles I said hello. Tell him I missed him, but I'll see him on Sunday too.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.